Welcome back to the deep dive. We aim to get you well informed on complex topics quickly and thoroughly, and today we're really jumping into the deep end. We're exploring some profound questions about, well, the second God, or the Son, and his relationship with the first God, the Father. Our goal here is to see what ancient texts like Hebrews and Acts and some key theological viewpoints tell us about divinity, incarnation, resurrection, and really what it all means for you. So yeah, our sources are foundational texts, theological insights. Let's unpack this.
Okay, so let's start with maybe the core puzzle, which Hebrews 1.3 really brings out. Is the Son the actual essence of the Father, or is he the image of the Father's essence? That word image it often carries this idea of being a projection.
Right, essence versus image. That's a really critical difference. So if the Son is the image, how does that idea help reveal God's nature, especially, once creation exists?
Right. Well, exactly. The concept of an image seems particularly relevant when you have creatures. You need sort of an interface to reveal God's true essence to them. And it's interesting, even looking at eternity, some theologians see the Son as this perfect projection of the Father's glory. Not the glory itself, but its perfect reflection. Distinct, yet perfectly representing the source.
Okay, that makes sense. And if they are equal in that way, you mentioned this really interesting connection between that equality and humility. How does that redefine Jesus' sacrifice for us?
Yeah, this is where things get, I think, really transformative. See, if the Son wasn't equal with the Father, his obedience, well, it wouldn't really be humility, would it? He'd just be doing what he was supposed to do, obligated to someone lesser. Humility is powerful when someone with ultimate equality chooses to lower themselves.
Okay. So if Jesus were just, say, a very high-ranking creature?
Right. Then his sacrifice wouldn't truly show God's love and justice in the same way. The power, in this view, comes from God sacrificing himself, his own being, his equal Son, for creation. It suggests that the value God places on creation is immense, measured by the price he himself paid, his entire being, essentially.
Wow. Okay. That shifts perspective. And that leads us to another key point. The second God actually becoming a creature, the Word made flesh. How did that act position him as the firstborn of creatures?
Well, by becoming human, by entering creation as one of us, he became the firstborn in the sense of being the prototype, the original pattern. It's not about being the first creature created, but about being the perfect model that all other creatures are meant to emulate. He's the template for redeemed creaturehood.
Got it. And that clarifies how the sources sometimes use being born when talking about the Son, right? It's about his incarnation becoming human.
Exactly. It refers to his entry into the created order as a creature, not his eternal origin. It's different from how we are born again through the Word, which is about spiritual rebirth.
So we have these terms, only begotten and firstborn. They sound similar, but they're distinct.
Very distinct, and the distinction is crucial. Only begotten, that points to the unique event, the Creator becoming a creature. That's Jesus' unique status. Nobody else did that.
Okay, Creator becoming creature and firstborn.
Firstborn is about being the first among creatures to conquer sin and death. Jesus achieved this first, paving the way, showing the path for everyone else.
Right, he sets the precedent.
Absolutely. And his resurrection is the confirmation. Romans 1.4, Acts 13, they point to the resurrection as proving he is this firstborn from the dead, the promised Messiah, which naturally raises the question, what about us?
Yes, exactly. So what does this mean for you listening right now? The text suggests that by reflecting Jesus' image, his victory over sin, his resurrection transformation, you can actually fulfill your own destiny as part of the image of God. It's about becoming adopted sons, stepping into that divine blueprint, loving God, loving neighbor, living out his ways. It's all tied together.
But, and this is vital, you can't do it alone. Humans don't overcome sin by sheer willpower. We need the Holy Spirit. The Spirit comes to those who are forgiven through Jesus' sacrifice and who receive the word Jesus himself, essentially. And critically, Jesus himself overcame sin through the Holy Spirit. That's what makes him our model.
So he didn't just use his own divine power, separate from us.
If he had, he couldn't really be our example, could he? He showed us the human path to victory, empowered by the Spirit.
Okay, so putting it all together, God becomes a creature, sets the perfect example through the Spirit, provides that same Spirit to us. It sounds like the goal is completing our free will.
That's a great way to put it. Completing free will, extinguishing the potential for sin, allowing creatures to finally fully embody that image of God they were intended for.
So this deep dive took us from the Son's identity to his incarnation, his resurrection, and ultimately to the path laid out for us to reflect that divine image.
And maybe a final thought to consider. If you really lean into these distinctions, essence versus image, only begotten versus firstborn, the role of the Spirit, how might that reshape your own understanding of freedom, what divine love truly looks like, and maybe your ultimate purpose?
Something profound to think about. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.